The Artemis Odyssey is a reimagining of the game Ad Astra designed by Bruno Faidutti and Serge Laget. Publisher Grand Gamers Guild has placed the game in the same universe as 2019's The Artemis Project using fantastic artwork by Cristian Romero. The game is designed for 1 to 5 players, but in this preview video we will be taking a look at how the game plays in the 2-player variant. The game will appeal to those who want to explore and have a little luck while they plan out the best way to anticipate their opponent's next move. However, I haven't seen a lot of the explosion of the 2-player game, and I wanted to check that out with you. 2 things to note in this video. First, the game pieces shown aren't final components, they're only prototype pieces. We already know what the final components will look like as a Kickstarter has already successfully funded. Artwork, cards, and planets may also be subject to some final tweaking as the publisher finishes production. Second, this is a rules or how to play video. However, I have played the game solo and with different player counts and would be happy to answer any questions you might have in the comments. Join me as we take a look at how the game plays with 2 players. In order to set up the 2-player game, first give each player the following pieces or assets in their chosen color: 4 starships, 4 colonies, 4 factories, 4 terraformers. They also receive 1 score marker in their matching color. Each player should also receive 11 action cards. Next, make sure the 6 resources are set near the play area. Each player will receive 1 of each resource type into their hand. The resources are water, food, energy, xanthium, yoyodium, and zozodium. I'll refer to those last 3 as X, Y, and Z. It's also helpful to note that there are planets that correspond to all these resources. In particular, note that the Y resource planet looks somewhat similar to the alien planet, but may be distinguished by the shape of the resource on the planet. In a 2-player game, we will take all of the planets and remove 2 alien planets from the game. Before flipping the planets face down and randomizing them, find 1 of each of the 6 resource planets and set these to the side for a moment. Next, take the stars, which are a little larger and have the zodiac signs on them, except for our sun, and place them out in the play area. Make sure you leave enough space around each star in order to place planets in a distinguishable way around the planets. Face down, randomize the 6 set-apart resource planets and place those around our sun. Each player, in any order, will now select 1 planet to discover around our sun. After flipping 1 of the 6 planets face up, this player will put 1 starship and 1 factory from their spot on the planet. After each player has selected a starting planet in this way, the remaining planets around the sun will be discarded from the game and be put back in the box. Take all of the remaining planets and randomize them face down. Now, distribute them among the remaining 8 star systems in any way you like, as long as every system has a minimum of 3 planets and a maximum of 7 planets face down. Place the planning board near the play area and within reach. Since we are playing a 2-player game, use the terraforming pieces of an unused player to fill in the spaces shown for 2 players. These spaces are unavailable for this player count. Each player should place their score markers on the 7th space of the score track on the planning board. Set the deck of alien encounters near your play area. Next, you will need this deck of Singularity cards and the Singularity marker. Set the Singularity marker on the planning board in the designated spot and put the Singularity cards above it. Choose a starting player in any way you prefer. Play is really pretty simple over the course of rounds. You have a planning phase where you place cards on the planning board in turn order, then you take actions as cards are revealed left to right from the planning board, and then finally you have end of round upkeep if the game isn't over. As a reminder, in the 2-player game, when you get to the Singularity marker, you'll take the top Singularity card, resolve the events of that card, and then continue with the action phase. Let's take a look at each of the card types. Like I said earlier, this isn't a rules video, so we won't cover every card in depth, but we will talk about some key details. Production cards allow the player to produce 1 of the 2 resources shown on the card. For every planet of the chosen resource and a starship or colony, each player will receive 1 resource. If a player has a factory on a planet with the chosen resource, they will receive 2 resource cards. If cards are ever about to run out, the planner who chose the planning card determines who takes cards first. Now, how do I get onto those planets in order to reap the resources? If a player places a travel card, they may use it to travel to an undiscovered or discovered planet that has no other player's assets on it. The player chooses 1 of the star systems shown on the card, declares it, and both players in turn order may peek at any face down or undiscovered planets before deciding on which planets to travel to in the system and discover. Upon landing their starship on a previously undiscovered planet, a player will always receive 1 matching resource type or receive an alien artifact card. In the case of a resource production planet, you simply receive the matching resource. In the case of discovering alien planets, draw an alien artifact card equal to the number of alien planets where you currently have assets of any type, including this one. In other words, you will always get to draw at least 1 card. Then choose one alien artifact card to keep and discard the rest to the bottom of the alien artifact deck in any order. The deck doesn't get reshuffled. There's an additional rule for discovery of alien planets in the two-player game. Upon traveling to a discovered or undiscovered alien planet, the player may choose to peek at the top card of the Singularity deck. Just remember, you can never travel to a planet which has another player's pieces or assets on the planet. When I take the trade action, all players place their resource cards face up on the table. The player of the trade may propose any number of trades. Additionally, the trader may trade resource cards with the bank at a cost of 1 to 1, then 2 of the same cards for 1, then 3 of the same to 1, and so forth. The opposing player who did not play in this card may also trade it with the bank in the two-player game, but they start at the 2 identical cards for 1 level to the bank. Once trading is over, players will put resource cards back into their hands. Players may choose to build. The player gets to build up to 2 assets. They can be different or the same. The other player gets to build 1 asset. Assets are limited by the player's personal supply. Whenever you spend resources, return them to the resource card bank. To build a colony, the player needs 1 water, 1 food, and any 1 ore of X, Y, or Z. Check to see if there's a spaceship or a terraformer on the desired planet. If you do, then you may build. Planets are limited to 1 colony or factory. You can't have 2 or both on 1 planet. If you build a colony on an alien planet, immediately receive 3 victory points. To build a starship, the player must have 1 energy and 1 of each type of ore. Place the starship from your supply on any planet where you have at least 1 asset of any kind. To build a factory, spend 2 energy and 1 ore of any kind. You may only build on a planet where you already have a colony. Factory replaces the colony. Colony will now return to your personal supply. Just as with colonies, if you build a factory on an alien planet, immediately score 3 victory points. To build a terraformer, spend 2 water and 2 food. These assets may only be built on water, food, or alien planets. The planet must also first have at least 1 other asset, starship, colony, or factory, on it before you can build a terraformer. Once you build a terraformer, score 3 victory points. Final action is a scoring action, of which there are 4 different cards. They all basically do the same thing. The player will choose which one of the 2 options gets scored. One benefit to playing a scoring card is that whoever played it takes the first player marker. However, if another player planned a scoring card later in the same round, that player will still be able to take the first player marker in the same way. Players will score the card, and then whoever scored the most for the chosen scoring action gains an additional 3 victory points. The player who scored the least loses 2 victory points. If any player's score marker reaches or passes 42, then a discovery of alien artifacts takes place. This is a one-time event. The player with the lowest victory points draws a number of cards from the alien artifacts deck equal to the number of players. This player looks at the cards, chooses 1 to keep, and passes the remaining cards to the other player. In a multiplayer game, they would pass to the next lowest scoring player. Once all of the playing cards have been resolved, proceed to the end of the round. Players discard down to 10 resource cards in hand. Check that the correct player has the first player marker. This will be whichever player playing the last scoring card on the right of the planning board. Remove scorecards. They do not go back to hand until a player has planned all 4. If this was your 4th score planning card, put them back in hand. Otherwise, they stay face up next to the personal supply and the scorecard discard. All other planning cards go back to the respective player's hand. The end game conditions are discovering the last planet or when any one player has reached at least 77 victory points. If one or both end-game conditions have not been met, play continues for another round. If the game ever ends in a tie, the players share their victory and celebrate their exploration of the cosmos. You've just watched a preview video of the Artemis Odyssey published by Grand Gamers Guild. The game allows players to explore stars and the adjacent planets in a variable way. The game includes a solo variant and a team variant for up to 8 players. Please like and subscribe so we can continue making videos like this one as we bring you gaming fun. Let us know what you look forward to most in this game. Also, what's your favorite player count for most games? As always, thanks for watching. Happy gaming.